has a British opponent this time, first time in 5 fights. Stewart Lithgo from the northeast of England, the Northern Area champion. And he's a very tall man indeed, Lithgo, 6'4". He's an inch taller than Bruno, but he's conceding the enormous amount of 22 pounds. And that is an awful lot of weight to give to a known puncher like Bruno. Frank Bruno of Wandsworth, who's won all his 10 pro fights and has taken only 17 rounds to complete those 10 fights. Well, Mr. Lithgo has been making a few bold statements to the press. Such things as he's just a mechanical fighter and all he's been fed so far is pushovers, and I'm not one of those. And now the moment has come when Stewart Lithgo has got to make all those statements tell. There's no doubt this fight has caused a lot of interest, because everybody is hoping that somebody will stand up to Bruno and just let us see whether he can come through a really hard fight. As we really haven't had much chance to see what he can do. Only one man's ever got as far as 4 rounds with him. That was an American. And it's the first right from Bruno, and I think Lithgo rather felt that one. Stone, 4.5 pounds, Bruno. And Lithgo, 13 stone, 10.5, 22 pounds lighter. The referee is Sid Nathan, who goes about 8 stone, soaking wet. Told not to hold. Lithgo's lost 3 of his 18 professional fights. Former national hunt jockey, amazingly enough. Bruno putting a few rib benders in. Lithgo's taken them. He's got a slight nosebleed. Otherwise appears to be reasonably unharmed as we come to the end of the first. Lithgo definitely goes back with blood coming from his nose and seeping into that ginger moustache. 25 years old, 6 feet 4 inches, the Northern Area heavyweight champion, professional since September 79, 18 pro fights, 1 draw, 3 defeats, 14 wins. Well, there was one good Bruno right. Here it comes. And Lithgo took that well, because 1 or 2 of Bruno's recent opponents have been on the floor from punches not as good as that.
Second up, round 2.
So far we haven't seen too much evidence of the uppercuts that we were told Bruno's been practicing, because Lithgo has a habit of crouching in, and Bruno said, well, if he does, I shall be practicing my uppercuts on him. Whatever you think about Bruno, whether you think he's a good prospect or whether you think he's having too many easy fights, there's no doubt at all he's exciting the boxing world, and you can tell just from the atmosphere here in the Albert Hall. Whenever Bruno gets in the ring, there's that old electric surge goes through the audience. He's an exciting fighter. And of course the whole of British boxing hopes very much that at last we may have a young and eventually world-class heavyweight prospect. Well, Lithgo could be one of the men to test that tonight. Lithgo had an eliminator for the British heavyweight title in February last year in Birmingham and got stopped in 2 rounds by Gordon Ferris of Northern Ireland. So if he gets past 2 rounds with Bruno, that in itself will be a bit of a feather in his cap. Lithgo now marked underneath the left eye and having a little go with Bruno. So maybe the big man from Wandsworth is going to be put to the test tonight. Rights coming from the big man Bruno. Lithgo takes him and stands there still. Has he got a punch to hurt Bruno? Finding Bruno with the long left lead. Blood coming from the cut underneath Lithgo's left eye. And Bruno gets caught with more punches than he's taken in the 10 previous fights put together. And as the bell on hardly heard in the excitement, as Lithgo had a go at him in that second round. But Lithgo has got a rather nasty-looking cut. Fortunately for him, it's underneath the left eye and not above it. Well, Lithgo most certainly had a go at Bruno here. At one point, Bruno caught in the corner, covering up a little bit desperately and worriedly. And Lithgo tried to find him, and Bruno quite cleverly wove his way out of trouble. And that's the cut Lithgo must take into the 3rd round.
Second up, round 3.
Right from Bruno. Scattered the Lithgo defences at the start of the 3rd. And maybe Bruno's come out with the orders from Terry Lawless, you better get this over, because the man is proving a bit troublesome. Well, at least Lithgo is making a fight of it. Not giving Bruno too much chance to get set on those solid legs and throw the big one. Keeping him off balance and preoccupied at times with defending. Exactly the right tactics. Could become famous overnight if he were to beat Bruno, but apart from that, his great ambition, of course, is to go further than anybody else with Bruno, and to do that, he's got to get into the 5th round. Here we are in the 3rd. Bruno hangs him coming off the ropes. Lithgo stays in close to avoid trouble. And he blows hard. Lithgo is beginning to feel the effects of those big Bruno punches. Smothering Bruno, trying to tie him up. And Bruno trying to get rid of him. The uppercut, he showed it, and it worked. getting this crowd going more than many a championship fight has done in this old hall. There's the bell. End of the third. And Lithgo gets an appreciative round of applause. But having come through 3 rounds, cut under the left eye, has taken some of Bruno's best punches, survived it all, and he's still there for the 4th. And so he'll be only the 2nd man in Bruno's short professional career to go that far. There was one beautiful uppercut from Bruno. He said he'd been practicing it. Here it is. Look at that. Straightened his man up, followed with the left hook, and even then, Lithgo managed to stay upright.
Second out, round 4.
Now, can Lithgo get through this and take Bruno further than he's ever been before as a pro? And this crowd very much on Lithgo's side. I suspect he's brought quite a little army of supporters with him from the northeast. Bruno not being in room to lever his punches in. Sid Nathan in grave danger of catching one himself when he does that. And there's slight worse damage now to Lithgo's left eye. It looks to me as though he may be cut above as well as underneath. Well, Gordon Ferris beat Lithgo in 2 rounds, and Bruno hasn't done that, or even 3. The eye's bleeding rather worse now on Lithgo. A lot of blood now running down the face of the man from Hartlepool. And that eye may well be the thing in the end that beats Lithgo and not Bruno's punch. Bruno being drawn again and again into clinches and close quarter mauling where he can't really make his punches tell. So he's getting quite a little test here, and signs of his inexperience here being shown up. But he has to come through these things if he's going to get anywhere. This is how he learns, not from knocking people over quickly. Staying in very close and holding on. Trying to deny Bruno the chance to get a clean shot at him.
Break! Come on, there you go. Foot break. Stand back. Stand back. First ball, foot break.
The bleeding seems to have stopped of its own accord. And there's the end of the 4th, which means that Lithgo will take Bruno further than he's ever been. And that's an achievement in itself for the 25-year-old man from the northeast of England. And Sid Nathan's been called over. Now, I think they may be calling it a day with trouble round the eye. Denny Mancini, the manager, is asking Nathan to have a look at the damage around that left eye. And I think Mancini is going to call it a day. And Lithgo doesn't want it called off, and he's protesting to his own manager. And Mancini says, no, you're not going back in there with that injury around the eye. And Lithgo doesn't like that decision from his own manager. And Bruno's come over to commiserate And Lithgo is a very, very unhappy man, but he takes it sportingly enough in the end. And it's the injury above Lithgo's left eye that's caused stoppage.
And the hand for the loser, please.
And not the one underneath. Tremendous cheers for Stewart Lithgo of Hartlepool, who survived 4 rounds with Frank Bruno and was threatening to give him a really hard fight.